Chapter 1. The Great Awakening. Tonight, as you drift into sleep, you are not simply resting your body. You are entering the most powerful creative state available to human consciousness. What I am about to share with you is not theory. It is not philosophy. It is the exact method that Neville Goddard used to transform his own life from poverty to prosperity, and the same method that thousands have used to manifest wealth while you sleep. This is the gateway to the 2026 Mindset Reset, the moment when you stop begging the universe for abundance and start assuming it as your living reality. For too long, you have been taught that manifesting wealth requires action upon action, strategy upon strategy, sacrifice upon sacrifice. But Neville revealed a truth that shatters this illusion completely. Your outer world is nothing more than a perfect reflection of your inner assumptions. Every single thing you see in your life right now, your bank account, your opportunities, your limitations, exists because at some point you assumed it to be true. And if assumption created your current reality, then assumption can recreate it entirely. The Neville Goddard Method is ruthlessly simple. You do not chase wealth. You do not affirm wealth. You do not visualize wealth as something separate from you. You assume wealth is already yours, and you fall asleep in that assumption every single night until your three-dimensional world has no choice but to conform to the pattern you have impressed upon your subconscious mind. This is not manifestation as you have been taught. This is creation at the level of pure consciousness. Right now, you exist in a specific state of consciousness. That state has a name, a feeling, a set of assumptions attached to it. Perhaps it is the state of someone who struggles financially. Perhaps it is the state of someone who works hard but never seems to get ahead. That state is broadcasting itself into your experience every moment of every day, and as long as you remain in that state, your world will continue to reflect it back to you with perfect accuracy. But tonight, you are going to enter a different state. You are going to enter the State Akin To Sleep, which Neville called SATS, the threshold between waking and sleeping, where your conscious mind releases its grip and your subconscious becomes supremely receptive to impression. In this state, you will plant a seed so deep into your consciousness that it must grow into your physical reality. You will manifest wealth while you sleep, not through effort, but through assumption, not through struggle, but through surrender. The next 15 minutes will guide you step by step into this state. You will learn how to construct the perfect scene that implies your financial wealth is already accomplished. You will learn how to feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And you will learn how to fall asleep inside that feeling so completely that when you wake, you will know beyond any shadow of doubt that your assumption is now solidifying into fact. This is your great awakening. This is the moment you realize that you are not a victim of circumstance. You are the operant power in your own reality. Chapter 2. The Law of Assumption. Let me tell you something that will fundamentally alter the way you see manifestation forever. You do not attract wealth. You do not draw it to you from some external source. You assume wealth, and in assuming it, you become it. This is the law of assumption that Neville taught with such clarity and power. Whatever you assume to be true becomes true in your experience, because consciousness is the only reality, and the three-dimensional world is simply consciousness pushed out into form. Most people live their entire lives trying to change their outer circumstances while leaving their inner state completely untouched. They want more money, so they work longer hours. They want better opportunities, so they send out more applications. They want financial freedom, so they buy another course or read another book. And yet nothing changes because they are still assuming the state of lack. They are still identified as someone who does not have enough, someone who must struggle, someone for whom financial wealth is a distant dream rather than a present fact. The 2026 Mindset Reset demands that you abandon this approach entirely. You must stop trying to get wealth and start claiming that you already have it, not as a future possibility, not as a distant goal, but as a present, concrete, undeniable reality. Neville said it plainly. You must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The feeling is the secret, not the thought, not the visualization alone. The feeling. When you assume something, you take it for granted. You do not question it. You do not doubt it. You simply know it. Right now, you assume you have a name. You assume you live in a particular place. You assume certain facts about your identity. These assumptions are so deeply embedded that you never think about them. They simply are. And because you assume them completely, they manifest completely. The Neville Goddard Method asks you to bring this same quality of assumption to your desire for financial wealth. You must assume it so completely that it feels more real than your current bank balance. You must assume it so deeply that your entire nervous system relaxes into the knowing that it is already done. When you achieve this level of assumption, the outer world must rearrange itself to match. It has no choice. Consciousness is the only creator. Here is where most people fail. They try to assume wealth while still holding on to the identity of someone who lacks wealth. They say the words, they do the techniques, but underneath it all, they still believe they are broke. They still feel poor. They still think of themselves as someone trying to become wealthy rather than someone who already is wealthy. This split in consciousness produces a split in manifestation. You cannot serve two states. You must choose. To assume financial wealth, you must first revise your concept of self. You are not someone who is waiting for money to arrive. You are not someone who hopes things will get better. You are someone for whom wealth is a natural, effortless, already present reality. You are someone who checks their bank account and sees abundance. You are someone who receives opportunities without trying. You are someone who lives in the end result right now, today, this moment. Neville called this living in the end. You do not live in the process. You do not live in the journey. You live in the destination as if you have already arrived. And the most powerful time to impress this assumption upon your subconscious is at night. In the SATS technique, when your conscious mind is too drowsy to argue and your subconscious is wide open to accept whatever you feed it, this is how you manifest wealth while you sleep. You go to bed as a wealthy person, and you wake as a wealthy person. And eventually your outer world catches up to the inner conviction you have been faithfully maintaining. Chapter 3. Entering the State. SATS. Protocol. Now we arrive at the most sacred part of the Neville Goddard Method. The state akin to sleep is not meditation. It is not hypnosis in the traditional sense. It is that drowsy, delicious state right before you fall asleep, when your body is relaxed but your mind is still aware. In this state, the critical faculty of your conscious mind is suspended, and your subconscious becomes like soft wax, ready to receive the impression you wish to make. Tonight, when you lie down in your bed, you are going to enter this state deliberately. You are going to use it to implant the assumption of financial wealth so deeply into your consciousness that it becomes the dominant pattern from which your reality unfolds. This is the SATS technique that Neville practiced every single night without fail, and it is the secret to manifesting anything you desire. Begin by lying down in a comfortable position. Most people find that lying on their back works best, but you can lie on your side if that feels more natural. The key is to be comfortable enough that you can relax completely. but not so comfortable that you fall asleep too quickly. You need to maintain just enough awareness to guide your imagination while allowing your body to sink into deep relaxation. Close your eyes gently. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and let it out through your mouth. Feel your body becoming heavier with each breath. Your legs are relaxing. Your arms are relaxing. Your shoulders are dropping. Your jaw is loosening. There is nowhere to go and nothing to do. You are completely safe, completely supported, completely at peace. As you continue to breathe slowly and deeply, you will notice that your mind begins to drift. Thoughts will come and go like clouds passing through the sky. Do not try to stop them. Do not engage with them. Simply observe them and let them dissolve. You are moving into the twilight state now, the threshold between waking and sleeping. This is the state where miracles are born. Your body is so relaxed now that you can barely feel it. You are aware, but only dimly. You are conscious, but your consciousness is turning inward, away from the outer world and toward the inner world, where all creation begins. You are entering the silence. You are entering the receptive state. You are entering the sacred space where assumption becomes reality. In this state, your imagination is supremely powerful. Whatever you imagine with feeling in this state will impress itself upon your subconscious mind with the force of an absolute command. Your subconscious does not question. It does not doubt. It simply accepts what you feed it and goes to work to bring it into manifestation. This is why Neville said that imagination creates reality. Because in the state akin to sleep, imagination is reality.